French club Stade Toulousain took a comfortable 33-9 win against Bulls, who failed to wear gloves against the men in red in Champions Cup last 16 at Stade Ernest-Wallon on Sunday. The win means Toulouse will host the Sharks, who beat Munster at Kings Park on Saturday, in the quarterfinals next weekend. It was a between the French rugby royal family and the South African royal family, but only one side still retained its glory. ISToulouse, Bulls, the 21-time France's top 14 champions and 5 most ever European Champions Cup winners, have strongly fortified path to victory that might have been more difficult had Bulls come into game with better form and confidence. The Bulls came into the game without winning any European competitive games since they beat the Exeter Chiefs in 6 straight losses for Jake White's team in mid-January. While former 3-time Super Rugby champion is a little off from his state's international pedigree, he looked at every part of the team supporting Rugby World Cup contenders in Toulouse, France. The Bulls were besieged in key specialist positions tighthead, and scrumhalf. Without Springbok in either position, Toulouse balanced them out with the French internationals. White was better at starting as many Springbok experiences as he could, especially in scrumhalf, where Zak Burger looks like a former Griquas player. Even though Embrose Papier was up against the world's leading scrumhalf, Antoine Dupont, he could have justified himself better. On the hooker, the host boasted 2 France number 2s, Julein Marchand and Peato Mauvaka, while second rowers read Johan Grobbelaar's throw in like a cheap flyer. Minutes before the timeout, the Bulls nearly disintegrated in midfield, but Argentina's number 13 Santiago Chocobares was unable to catch a clearing pass. Somehow, Bulls remained in the fray and were only 6 points behind after Thomas Ramos and Chris Smith went to kick tea while hosts were up 12-6. The Bulls got off to a solid start in the second half, with their Smith closing in on 3 points. However, home team increased physical pressure once again, and after 50 minutes Emmanuel Meafou locked goal for first try of match. When left-wing Matthis Lebel made a great finish at touchline, he threatened to open the floodgates when home team hit him on his second try in 4 minutes. Ramos didn't miss from tee either, and both attempts turned game into taking game farther from Bulls, who were asked to raise their offensive score to return game. Instead of Bulls' comeback, Toulouse was pulled into distance after reserve key Thibaud Flament took advantage of a tough game period from Bulls, who was penalized with a Dupont chip kick where Flament touched ground.